What's up, it's Keith Kalfas. In this video we're going to walk a whole property. I'm going to show you exactly what I would charge to do various things like trimming, edging out garden beds, putting down mulch, topsoil, sod, all of it, and give you all the pricing and everything. I'm in Michigan right now, but I hope this helps, and if you're newer in the business, this is information that I wish I would have known years ago, because I spent years underquoting jobs and still do sometimes. And this one's $4,200, and normally I would have charged maybe $2,600 for something like this before, because I wasn't including owner's profit and including the cost of growing a freaking business. So out of frustration and appreciation, follow along. This will probably be, I don't know, maybe a 10-minute video, but if you stick around, I'll tell you literally everything, all in a nutshell. So following me now, on this property we're doing a full spring cleanup. We're trimming everything, including lightly trimming all the trees, all the shrubs. We're edging out all the garden beds. We're putting down mulch. We're doing sod, and as we walk, these three trees here, I think they're hemlocks. I may be wrong. I think they're hemlock trees. We're just taking a loop around each tree to just to thin it up a bit. That's all. So it's a little more shapely. It's about 50 bucks a tree. All these garden beds right here need mulch. So a yard of mulch covers about 140 square feet at 2 inches. All these garden beds, 7 yards of mulch. Mulch is $100 per yard installed. That includes the delivery fee, materials, and installation. It's all in one, right? If a customer gets more than 10 yards of mulch, at 11 yards, we'll drop it down to 85 bucks a yard. But this is, so 7 yards of mulch is $700. Trimming all these shrubs, I go to $125, or at least $100 an hour. Depends on how many hours we're working and what we're doing, but at least $100 an hour for 2 guys working, so that's $50 per man hour. What we're doing, just basic labor work. So we're trimming all these shrubs, these boxwoods, these little globe arborvitaes. Doing a full spring cleanup. Spring cleanups are about $250 for a property if you base it off of a man hour rate. That's the starting base. I don't like to do spring cleanups for under 250 bucks because I just don't. So when we're going to the dump and we're dumping all this debris from all the trimmings and everything, we're taking it away. I'm charging about 30 bucks a yard. My truck can fit 4. So it's $120 for a full heaping yard of debris removed and taken to the dump. All these fern plants are all getting trimmed down and cleaned out. These hydrangeas right here, part of a spring cleanup. We're just gonna deadhead the hydrangeas, coming super close. See, we're just going to take pruners at a 45-degree angle opposite of what these buds are and just deadhead these down. I'm not a horticulturalist. I would like to trim this down. We are going to some, but we're going to leave all these buds so they can bloom. Then we'll be edging out all the garden beds with the Echo PS whatever 80 garden bed edger machine. I love that thing, to create a nice deep edge for all the fresh mulch to go. We'll be touching up the bottom of the trees. So this isn't like actual tree trimming. It's just, if we're doing trimming for a customer, I'm learning about pointing out everything on their property that we could possibly do to not only increase the average ticket price per job, but to create more value for the customer. So I'm like, hey, what do you want? What's up with these trees? Do you want these trimmed? Do they need to be trimmed? So these grasses right here, we'll be cutting these down. Oh, these are kind of loose, just to here, but leaving a little bit as a base, a support base for new, these grasses, for new grass to grow. Edging all this out, fresh mulch. We're gonna have a machine on job. Let's go in the backyard. These huge shrubs here, I think those are like huge burning bush, I think. You could actually cut those all the way down and they'll just grow right back. So we're going to cut those down by like 4 feet and just really close this area down so it has nice separation and delineation between everything, so it doesn't look so crowded. Just cutting it all the way down. These yew shrubs are getting nice and trimmed up. How do I price yew shrubs? Would be like, you can go man hour rate at like 50 bucks an hour. That covers all your expenses. Or you can look at the shrubs and be like, okay, 6, 6, 4, 3. Like this is like a $6 shrub if you wanted to itemize it, if a customer wanted to know. About $6 to trim that. This arborvitaes here, is it still recording? These arborvitaes, you just take a nickel off the sides. You don't trim too deep into, especially emerald green arborvitaes, because you could burn them out and just kill them. So we just take a little bit to create the illusion of a nice trim and top them so they're clean and they look clean from a distance. Same with these. That would be like 5, 10, 15, 20. Trimming shrubs sometimes takes a lot longer than you think, depending on if you the tool or not. This Japanese maple tree right here, we're gonna cut out. See, you could just take your hands inside and get the dead out. See this? Cut all the dead out of it, elevate it, do it with hand pruners, not shrub trimmers. Because you'll be cutting all the leaves where they're gonna be budding. Usually when we do a cleanup, we'll ask the customer about their flower pots here, if they want them cleaned out, and then we'll rip out all the old stuff if it's an annual, and then kind of prep the soil so it's all clean. The sod we're renting out here, so we're renting out a sod cutter machine. It's 165 bucks for the day, which the customer's paying for that, we're not. And then we're gonna cut all the sod out about 1.5 inches, haul it all away, and put a yard of fresh topsoil in here to kind of grade the low areas. Now, there's something specific. Sprinkler heads. Oh yeah, so I'm charging for the labor rate to remove the sod for the sod cutter machine, and charging to actually get it off the property and dump it. So you're charging for the labor to remove the sod, the machine, and paying to dump it, because what's a dump? It's going to be $120 labor and dumping fees just to get the sod out of here. Now the new topsoil that comes in, 1 yard of topsoil is $100 per yard of topsoil installed. Make sure you get black screened topsoil, the nice rich black topsoil, because if you just say I want dirt, they're gonna give you crap fill dirt. But anyway, so we fill it all out in here and we'll grade it. I think 1 yard will be good enough because there's not too much to fill. But the first yard of topsoil on the job site is $300 because it costs money to get that first yard and delivery onto the site. Every yard after that is $100. Now sod, we're going to be installing sod. This is about 300 square feet plus overlap. So 1 yard of, one piece of sod is 2 by 5, so it's 10 square feet. So it's 2 feet wide by 10 feet long. When we roll it all out, I charged $10 per piece of sod installed. If you get sod from a nursery, you're going to pay $5, $6 per piece. But if you get it from an actual sod supplier, like here in Michigan, we have a huge sod supplier, can get it for $1.80 per roll. So then charge $10 to install it, and then includes pickup. So we'll pick up a pallet of sod, and then we'll back the truck right up and we'll just unload it, roll it all out, roll it, make sure the customer gets it watered. But this is what I want to point out about that sprinkler head. We're gonna have to hand dig around these areas. There's 3 sprinkler heads. We can't run the sod cutter machine and I go, it's gonna take us an extra, say half an hour to hand dig around the sprinkler heads to prepare them and to get the sod out. So I charge for that, a half an hour labor of hand digging around sprinkler heads, and put it itemized right inside of the quote. Right? All those little tiny things I've learned will eat you up in time, the unforeseen. But it's not unforeseen when you've seen it a bunch of times and you've been through it. So come over here, we're trimming all this up. This Japanese maple here, pruning this and elevating it. A tree like this would maybe be like 35, 40 bucks if you were to just trim it by itself. It's really small. We're not touching these topiaries, they don't need to be done. We're doing all the spring cleanup here, putting fresh mulch. So if you were to look at this area right here, how much mulch would you need? About a yard, right? About 100 and maybe 140, 150 square feet at 2 inches. And this is weird. Is this? Let me know in the comments. Is this Wigelia or Wisteria? It's funny whenever I make a video and I'm wrong on a plant, and then all you horticulturists is like, nope, it's rhododendron. And I'm like, well, thanks. So that's it. Yeah, that's the whole job. For instance, boxwood shrubs. You can make mistakes by undercoating boxwood shrubs. You're just trimming a couple rows of boxwood shrubs, 40 bucks, you tell the customer. And now you're sitting there for 2 hours trimming these boxwood shrubs, getting them perfect and cleaning up all the little particles. Maybe you got to get canvas tarps or painter's tarps and put it underneath to catch all the particles. What if it's over rocks? And now all that stuff is in the rock particles. When we trim shrubs like this, especially if there's lava rocks, I tell the customer now, I'm like, listen, you have lava rocks, there's an extra hour charge specifically to trim these shrubs, because all these particles, we got to lay down painter's canvas tarps underneath all of it to catch all the particles, and it's going to take us extra long so we don't get all the particles in the rocks. And then on top of that, we're going to have to spend all this time blowing the rocks out, and then the rocks are going to overflow out of the landscape bed onto the yard just by the nature of it, and then we're going to have to hand pick and put them all back. Or you can, well, I don't want to do a crappy job, but that's little tiny things that would just eat up your time. So I think when you've been through the process a million times, you start to get smart. I was on the phone with my buddy William this morning, the tree guy, with the big beard, and dude, he was telling me, I can't say too much, but he's getting real smart. He's smart, that's all I'm going to say. And just by, what I mean by that is, when you have friends that are also going through the same process as you, like in this community, our community here, we all teach each other stuff, and when we stay on top of it, we don't feel like we're alone in the dark in this shit. Okay, so I think it's time to get to the point where you're sick of not making the money that you want to make, and you wonder why, if enough time has gone by and you're still not where you want to be. It's because I think we stick our head in the sand in too many things, and we it's the competency progression model. When you have no competence in something because you haven't done it enough, you don't have the confidence, so you keep messing up. But once you do it enough and you get competent at it, and now you can see it on a granular level, now you have the confidence, and it's a long process, and some of us can do it a lot faster than others. There's some guys who start their businesses and they just pow, 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 they just fly. They get really fast, and some guys just toil for years and don't get anywhere. So that's why I think this community is so important. All right, click the subscribe button. I hope there's not anything I missed, but yeah, that's it right there. I hope I gave enough prices, and there you go, my friend. All right, I'm gonna get back to work. I'm gonna fire up some shrub trimmers and start hustling. My ears ringing. It's probably because I need to turn this audiobook back on. Jordan Peterson is the next audiobook, 12 Rules for Life. Yeah, dog. All right, later. Peace. Oh yeah, click the link in the description below. Check out the links below, because there's some cool stuff below there. Later.